Good morning, gang. Kevin here at Life22 Studios, and it is just a little before 6:30 a.m. It is the holiday week of Columbus Day in October. It's been a little chilly the last couple days. It's been a little rainy, a little, what you'd expect for an October. Some kind of, weather that you kind of imagine, like if you were, Christopher Columbus on a ship, right? Like you're sailing the ocean blue, like, yeah, it's sunny during the day, and then it's just kind of like miserable and rainy on certain days, and that's kind of what it's been. A little chilly, the big heat sink that is the ocean. But yeah, no, it is a Monday morning. It's actually a Tuesday, but it's the Monday morning of our work week. And I know a lot of you guys have been kind of just out there and just ready to get back to work. If you didn't already go back to work yesterday, which a lot of us did, a lot of us worked all day yesterday. So kudos to you who keep on working. I want to check in and see how your Sober October is doing. Let us know in the comments below. And I'm trying to think what else there is. There is a Luke Winkie update for all of you out there who are concerned with that. Today is our 13,700th episode. Each day being an episode of my life. So that's, and that for all those who don't know, that's where the day moniker and the episode title or the episode date stamp comes from. So that's kind of how we started the channel. It was like my life is kind of ridiculous, so there's a lot of shit going on. Obviously, most things in your life happen because of your own doing. Obviously, I'm a crazy, outlandish person, so crazy, outlandish shit happens to me all the time. So, speaking of crazy and outlandish, Luke Winkie update. He is out. I believe he may have court today. Little birdies on the wire have been telling me, because they're all currently on the lam hiding from this person. But apparently he's, been released, but has restrictions due to his curfew. In regard, I think there's curfews in a halfway house in Jamestown or something. So. For all those who don't live in Jamestown, you're safe for now until he's wheels up. So, that said, I'm trying to think. Oh, so today's podcast, I kind of want to get into. I want to do our a Monday morning update, and which we did. We covered it. But I want to do it. I woke up this morning thinking about Audacity. The term Audacity. And we need more people with Audacity. That gumption to stand up and just kind of tell people what they think, or not back down to people that are menacing and threatening. Somebody tries to overbear their opinion on you with the fact that you might be timid and not audastic, and not have, the testicular fortitude, as I like to use, to stand your ground. And so today's little excerpt was just a shout out to all the people that have been audastic lately, and have been building their audacity and being able to better our community for it. So the first shout out I'm going to give to my wife and my neighbor Amy and my other neighbor Emma, who have been on the front lines of the neighborhood watch that we put into place a few months ago. I've been helping where I can. Obviously, I work a lot, and so I'm able to kind of help help bankroll them with megaphones and body cams and things like that. But for the most part, they've been leading the charge, boots on the ground, and nothing. There's no substitute for that. So. Shout out to them. They've been out there late nights and being audastic. So I know my wife leads the charge to where the neighbors are like, oh, geez, did she just do that? She'll call out drug addicts for going into drug houses. She will call out. She'll get on the horn with spotlighters to spotlight different neighborhoods that she receives via message for different neighborhoods. So she hasn't been she didn't create the spotlighting, but once once it started happening, like a little network started to get formed. So just to kind of, sunshine's the best disinfectant, and it's kind of been great. So calling out different people, she writes down names and numbers, but be to the Audastic point, right? Like instead of just the watchful eye of Neighborhood Watch, just letting them know that, like, hey, we also won't stand for this. And so, and I woke up this morning thinking, like, man, my wife watched the football game on the front porch. My mom's in town visiting. They both watched the football game. I went to bed early so I could get up. I have work. I wanted to squeeze in a podcast and get a little bit of paperwork and some bills to pay still yet before I have to get the kids ready for school. But it's one of those, they were on the front porch, and it wasn't to do Neighborhood Watch type stuff. We've had a record low number of, like, garbage on the street, including needles. Needles are at an all-time low in our neighborhood. Usually we have to go around once a week and, like, inspect sidewalks within, like, a block radius for needles that can poke kids and have poked kids in our neighborhood, and that's what is the biggest issue. Thank God it's been none of my kids. It's not been, you know what I mean? It's just, but it's still, like, you know, there's people, and they, you know, their kids chase behind them, and kids like to run around without shoes on. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you put shoes on, but, like, needles are pokey metal. Like, they can penetrate skin, they can penetrate clothing, they can penetrate most gloves. So why couldn't they penetrate the thin foam shoe of a kid's sole of their shoe? You know, so it's one of those. Kids like to pick up shiny things. They shine, they glimmer in the sunlight. You know, and so it's one of those that we just it irks me that we have to do it, but, you know, at the same time, like, it's our neighborhood. It's the things that cause you problem in this world. If you have an issue with something, that means it's your problem. And so we have an issue with the drug addicts in our neighborhood that makes it our problem. Yes, a lot of the neighbors wish that the government would do more. We wish that the cops could do more. I don't blame the cops personally. It's not their fault. Their hands are tied by New York State. New York State doesn't want drug addicts out of jail because if they're in jail, they can't vote for them. So, you know, the politicians. So it's one of those. But that Audastic behavior has been going great because it's just been an all-time low. And I know the weather's getting colder, but it hasn't been that cold. It hasn't been that cold. Like, this is like a new breed of drug addict that just hasn't died off in its first winter yet, right? Like newborn woodland creatures, like they're born in the spring and they kind of try to make it through without getting eaten by predators. And the first winter hits and like 40% of them die. Like, I doubt that's the case. I'm sure, you know, a lot of the faces, according to some of the neighbors, have been around since they were kids. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, a lot of the. There's always two. There's always at least two. Anyways, we've they're regulars. They're regulars. There's no way that, you know, a lot of them have been doing drugs for 40 years, 20 years at least. This ain't their first winter in Western New York, and so this is just not, you know, it's odd. Maybe it's just timing, I suppose, or the audacity of the neighbors and the Neighborhood Watch. So, shout out to them. And a shout out to Mr. Robert Kennedy. His audacity and take charge attitude to go and tackle things on the dikes. I don't always agree with what Rob posts about online. I don't agree with some of the people that he attacks and some of his tactics, but I do have to, I'm sure our politics probably are in line, but I do have to agree with Rob and give him some kudos on the way that he has cleaned up the dikes. And I know I've heard council members in the council meetings that I've listened to where he's spoken and kind of given them just an impromptu update at the public comment section, and how, like, normally they don't break rank and you know, comment on or reply to comments on the public comment. But, you know, the council president, Vernon Robinson, had mentioned in the last meeting, the last one that I had seen, I'm 2 meetings behind. No, I'm 1 meeting behind. Yeah, I'm watching the Charter Commission meeting. Yeah. Anyways, the last one that I had seen, he broke rank, and he even mentioned, he's like, I don't like to break rank, or but I do want to commendate Mr. Kennedy for his work and effort. And so, that means a lot. And it means a lot to the rest of us that he's kind of orchestrating these efforts to go down and just clean up the dikes. And his momentum is forcing, because sometimes, like, people ask stuff for the city all the time. So, like, people get mad, like, well, the city's not giving me garbage bags. The city's not giving me this. The city's not giving me that. Well, yeah, because, like, how many people, if they just walked in and said, hey, I need garbage bags, I'm going to go clean up the streets, like, they just, a lot of people are just, like, really just, they would just take those garbage bags and go home. And so, like, as a city, you don't just give out, stuff willy-nilly. And so I can understand a little bit of hesitancy from them, but then all of a sudden you make enough commotion. You get enough local business to say, yeah, you're going to clean up the dikes. Yeah, you go, there's a, you know what I mean? And then you start posting things on Facebook and making it public. And like I said, sunshine's the best disinfectant. And you get out there and you start doing that. And then you're going to get the government to kind of back behind you. But it takes the local figures, the Worth W. Smith who donated gloves, and the Union Sales that usually donates garbage bags. And I think Worth W. Smith may have also donated garbage bags. We offered to donate garbage bags and or dispose of the garbage. And then before we could even get there, the city offered, had said just, pile it up on the dikes, and our one of our divisions will come and get it, kind of thing. And so it's like, it's nice to see but it all started with that audacity to clean up the messes. You know what I mean? Target your problem where it starts, where it is. Don't just, alleviate it, right? Like, oh, the issue is the drug addict. Like, well, I mean, the issue is drugs. That's really like, because, like, if drug addicts just kind of wandered around like, like fruit flies, and they just weren't in my kitchen, it wouldn't be a big deal. The problem is I have to address the real problem, which is like the fact that there's, some sort of food for them to eat, like this thing in my sink that's causing all the fruit flies, and that's the drugs. And the drugs have, like, the ability to turn my kids into a fruit fly, and the drugs have the ability to poke my kids and cause a lot of medical problems, and turn them into zombies, and and it can turn my fellow neighbors into zombies, and so it's like you got to really target the drugs. And it's not like, oh, we need mental health for the drug addicts. It's like, I still don't think you're addressing the real problem here. The root problem is something moral and in the fabric of our society that's collapsing, and I don't know how you fix it. Well, I kind of do. You know what I mean? You start strengthening the family. You start strengthening social bonds, camaraderie amongst neighbors. I got to give out to, got to go back to that. And religion, people don't have anything to believe in anymore. So why would they care? Like, what's the purpose? We've all become nihilistic, and like, what does this life mean anyways, man? I'm just gonna be one worm chow in 100 years, 50 years, 20 years if you're on drugs. And it's like, that's part of it. But when you start building momentum to start targeting the issue, like, all right, so we have an issue with homelessness. All right, well, no homeless encampments. Sorry, and the cops have their hands tied to a degree. There's a couple of them that are, a little loose cannon, which we need more of. We need more cops that are willing to, take on, like, well, is that how we normally do things? Is that I wouldn't want to get in trouble? It's like, no, like, sometimes it's, you're not just like beating down somebody. You're not like doing something egregious. You do something and you get your wrist slapped. That's it. Like, oh. That's it. Like, it's super easy. You just, like, hey, well, we're not supposed to be any homeless people here. You're not allowed to camp by the dikes. The Army Corps of Engineers' property. The city is like a steward for policing it. You know what I mean? Like, just take care of it. And so these are the different things that we deal with, but it all starts with that audacity. So the audacity of the neighborhood watch, the audacity of Robert Kennedy to go down there and just clear it out. And it all starts there, and having that strength, that will to do what's right, regardless if somebody says, "Oh, you can't move somebody's stuff." What if you get in trouble? Like, who cares? What if I get in trouble? Okay, arrest me for cleaning up garbage around the river. Arrest me for cleaning garbage up off the dikes. Arrest me for stopping, oh, well, it's somebody's personal property. Well, it shouldn't have been left out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, well, that's where they live. Like, no, they don't live there. They don't own the property. They don't rent the property. They don't have permission to be there. It's assumed to be abandoned. Well, they're currently in the tent. Like, Sorry. Unless you're Bubble Boy and this thing is movable, get moseying. And it takes that kind of audacity to do it. And there's too many people that pussyfoot around issues and they don't want to touch it and they don't want to, or they don't want to be bothered by it. And there's other people that have, extra free time in their day and have that audacity. And they say, hey, I'm gonna do what's right. And so kudos to Rob, kudos to my wife, kudos to the neighbors, Amy, Emma, any other neighbors in our Neighborhood Watch group. You can find us on Facebook at Where the Sirens Aren't. And we're in the trenches. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Life22.